What if I told you there are places in America where the ground beneath your feet looks like another planet? Where hikers walk through giant canyons carved by ancient rivers, where trails disappear between massive cliffs, where waterfalls appear in the middle of deserts, and where a single step can take you from a normal landscape into something that looks completely impossible. These places are not from a fantasy movie. They are real hiking trails found across America, created by millions of years of erosion, volcanic activity, and natural forces that transformed ordinary land into some of the most unbelievable landscapes on Earth. Some require climbing chains attached to cliffs, some take you through rivers, and some lead to hidden worlds that look like they should not exist. Today, we are exploring 7 American hikes that don't feel real. Number 7. Angel's Landing, Zion National Park, Utah. High above the red cliffs of Zion National Park is a trail that has become one of the most famous hikes in America. But this is not famous because it is easy. It is famous because the final section feels almost impossible. This is Angel's Landing, a massive rock formation rising more than 1,500 feet above Zion Canyon. From the valley below, it looks like a giant stone tower standing above everything around it. For thousands of years, wind and water slowly shaped this landscape. The Virgin River carved through layers of sandstone, creating the enormous canyon walls that surround the park today. But reaching the top of Angel's Landing requires more than just walking. The first part of the hike follows a steep trail through the canyon. Hikers climb switchbacks carved into the mountain, gaining elevation, while the valley becomes smaller below. But the real challenge begins near the summit. The final half-mile is unlike almost any other hiking trail in America. The path becomes a narrow ridge with massive drops on both sides. To continue, hikers hold onto heavy chains attached to the rock. One side leads hundreds of feet down. The other side falls away into the canyon. The trail is so narrow that hikers often have to carefully pass each other while holding onto the chains. This combination of exposure and height creates the feeling of walking through the sky. There is no staircase, no protective walls, just rock, chains, wind, and a breathtaking view. When hikers finally reach the summit, they are rewarded with one of the most incredible views in Zion. The entire canyon stretches below. The red cliffs appear endless, and for a moment, it feels less like standing on Earth and more like standing above another world. Angel's Landing is a reminder that some of the most beautiful places are created by nature's most extreme forces. But this is only number 7. The next hike takes us away from the cliffs and into a canyon where the trail itself becomes a river. Number 6. The Narrows, Zion National Park, Utah. Imagine hiking through a canyon where there is no traditional trail. Your path is a river. The walls around you rise thousands of feet into the sky, and the only way forward is to walk directly through the water. This is the Narrows. Located inside Zion National Park, this hike takes visitors deep into one of the narrowest sections of Zion Canyon. Unlike most hikes where you follow a dirt path or mountain trail, the Narrows is carved by the Virgin River itself. For millions of years, flowing water slowly cut through the sandstone, creating a canyon so narrow that in some areas the walls are only a few dozen feet apart. The scale is almost impossible to understand. Standing at the bottom, you look straight up and see towering walls disappearing into the sky. Sunlight reaches the canyon floor only in certain places, creating dramatic patterns across the water. The experience constantly changes. One moment you are walking through shallow water. The next, you are surrounded by massive cliffs covered with green vegetation. The river moves beneath your feet. The canyon echoes every sound, and the landscape feels completely separated from the outside world. The strange part is that this entire environment was created by something simple: water. A small river slowly transformed solid rock into one of the most dramatic hiking routes in America. But the beauty comes with danger. Water levels can change quickly. Flash floods are a serious threat. Hikers must pay attention to weather conditions before entering the canyon. Those who make the journey discover a place that feels almost impossible. A hidden world where humans walk through a landscape shaped over millions of years. Number 5. The Wave. Arizona deep in the Arizona desert is a landscape so unusual that many people believe the photos must be edited. Smooth lines of red and orange sandstone curve across the ground like giant waves frozen in time. There is no ocean here, no water moving across the surface, just rock shaped into one of the most unique formations in America. This is the Wave. Located in the Coyote Buttes area near the Arizona-Utah border, the Wave was created over millions of years. Layers of sandstone were pushed, shaped, and carved by wind and water. The result is a pattern that looks almost artificial. The smooth curves, the flowing lines, the changing colors. Everything creates the illusion that the ground itself is moving. One of the reasons the Wave feels so mysterious is how difficult it is to visit. Only a limited number of hikers are allowed each day. This protects the fragile sandstone and keeps the landscape from being damaged. Visitors who receive a permit must navigate through the desert without a marked trail. The journey itself becomes part of the adventure. There are no signs leading you directly there. No roads. No large crowds. Just a remote desert landscape hiding one of Earth's strangest formations. When hikers finally arrive, the reward is a scene that looks almost impossible. The sandstone bends and twists in every direction. Every angle creates a different pattern. The colors change with the sunlight, and the entire place feels like nature created its own artwork. The Wave proves that sometimes the most unbelievable places are not created by humans. They are created by time. Number 4. The Subway Zion National Park, Utah. Hidden inside Zion National Park is a hiking route that looks like it belongs underground. A narrow canyon, smooth curved walls, clear pools of water, and a natural tunnel that gives the entire landscape its name. This is the subway. The hike gets its name from the shape of the canyon. Over thousands of years, water carved through the rock, creating a rounded tunnel-like passage. The walls curve upward like the inside of a subway tunnel. But reaching this hidden formation is not a simple walk. The subway is a challenging backcountry hike. Visitors travel through rocky terrain, climb over obstacles, and cross streams before reaching the main attraction. Along the way, the landscape constantly changes. The desert transforms into a world of water and color. Emerald pools appear between the rocks. Water flows through the canyon, and the smooth sandstone reflects light in ways that make the entire area feel unreal. The most famous section is the narrow tunnel-like passage where the canyon walls surround hikers. Standing there, it is easy to forget that you are in the middle of Utah. It feels like entering a hidden underground world. The subway represents one of nature's greatest abilities, taking something solid and slowly transforming it into something completely different. Number 3. Kalalau Trail, Kauai, Hawaii. Along the northern coast of Hawaii's island of Kauai is a trail that feels like a journey into another world. A place where mountains rise directly from the ocean, where waterfalls disappear into tropical valleys, and where green cliffs stretch for miles along the coastline. This is the Kalalau Trail. The trail follows the Na Pali coast, one of the most dramatic coastal landscapes on Earth. Unlike the dry deserts of Arizona or Utah, this environment is shaped by water. Heavy rainfall, powerful waves, and millions of years of volcanic activity created the towering cliffs and deep valleys of Kauai. The trail itself is famous for its views. On one side, hikers see massive green mountains. On the other side, the Pacific Ocean stretches endlessly toward the horizon. The contrast is incredible. Ancient volcanic cliffs, blue ocean, dense rainforest. Everything combines into a landscape that feels almost unreal. But the beauty of Kalalau comes with difficulty. The trail crosses narrow sections along cliffs. Weather can change quickly. Rain can transform paths into muddy terrain. Yet thousands of hikers attempt this journey every year because of what waits at the end. Hidden beaches, waterfalls, and views that look like they were created for a movie. The Kalalau Trail is proof that some of the most unbelievable landscapes on Earth are not empty deserts or distant planets. Sometimes they are hidden along the edge of an island. Number 2. Havasu Falls, Arizona. Deep inside the Grand Canyon lies a place that looks almost impossible, a desert landscape, red rock cliffs, and bright turquoise waterfalls flowing through the middle of it all. This is Havasu Falls, a hidden oasis belonging to the Havasupai people. For generations, the Havasupai have lived in this canyon environment, protecting and preserving this remarkable landscape. The journey to Havasu Falls is not easy. Visitors must hike deep into the canyon to reach the waterfalls. But every step reveals something more surprising. The dry desert slowly transforms. The red rocks become brighter. Green vegetation appears, and then the sound of falling water emerges. The turquoise color comes from minerals in the water. These minerals create the famous blue-green appearance that makes the falls look almost unreal. The contrast is what makes Havasu Falls so extraordinary. A place that should be dry and empty is filled with flowing water and life. The waterfalls appear like something from a tropical island, yet they are surrounded by one of the world's most famous deserts. It feels like discovering a secret world hidden inside the canyon. Number 1. Mist Trail to Half Dome, Yosemite National Park, California. At number 1 is a hike that takes you through some of the most iconic scenery in America. A trail leading past giant waterfalls, through ancient forests, and finally, toward one of the most recognizable rock formations on Earth, Half Dome. Located in Yosemite National Park, Half Dome rises thousands of feet above the valley floor. Its massive granite face looks almost impossible, a giant wall of stone shaped by glaciers millions of years ago. The journey begins through Yosemite's incredible landscape. Hikers pass waterfalls, forests, and towering cliffs. But the final section changes everything. The last climb requires hikers to pull themselves upward using cables attached to the mountain. The rock becomes steep, the exposure increases, and suddenly, the hike becomes a vertical climb. Looking back reveals the entire Yosemite Valley below. The waterfalls become tiny. The trees look like small patches of green. The world feels far away. Reaching the summit creates a feeling unlike almost any other hike. You are standing on top of a piece of ancient earth that has survived millions of years of change. Half Dome is not just a destination, it is a reminder of the scale of nature. The mountains, the valleys, the rivers, all of them were shaped long before humans arrived. And standing there, you understand how small we really are compared to the planet beneath our feet. These 7 hikes show that America is home to landscapes that seem impossible. A trail above a canyon, a river flowing through stone walls, a desert hiding turquoise waterfalls, a coastline covered in ancient cliffs, a mountain shaped by millions of years of natural forces. Each place tells a different story. Some were created by water, some by volcanoes, some by wind and time. But all of them prove one thing. Earth is far stranger and more beautiful than we often realize. We search for alien worlds beyond our planet. But sometimes, the most unbelievable landscapes are already waiting here. Hidden in deserts, inside canyons, along coastlines, and at the top of mountains. These are not fictional places. They are real, and they are waiting to be explored. Thanks for watching Factverse. If you enjoy discovering incredible places, hidden stories, and the most unbelievable landscapes on Earth, subscribe to Factverse and turn on notifications. Every week, we bring you closer to the places that make our planet feel extraordinary. Our feet.